sir, we are live. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Harish. Good morning, dear eminent speaker, faculties, teachers, friends, and students. Myself, Deepak Chabra, Assistant Director, SHM National Council on Education. Welcome all of you to this wonderful webinar, Industry 4.0, Refueling Startup, a booster for young entrepreneurs. We are conducting this, we are organizing this webinar in association with Jim's Engineering Management Campus. Welcome, Greater Noida. On behalf of SOCHAM and JIMS Engineering Management Campus, I would like to welcome Dr. Manpreet Singh Mannaji, member UNO Asia Pacific MOOCs Committee, former director EICTE, SWAYAM Ministry of Education, Faculty, SLIT, Longewal. Welcome, Dr. Mannaji, to this wonderful webinar. Along with this, we have Dr. Shakti Johan ji, former country head administration SDFC Bank Limited, real estate and facility management professional. Welcome, Dr. Shakti ji. Along with this, we have Mr. Kunal Deep. He is the vice president, Colpol. Welcome, Mr. Kunal. Welcome. Along with this, we have Mr. Raghavan RV, CEO, Epitrom.ai. Welcome, Mr. Raghavan ji. Along with this, we have Dr. N.K. Sinha, Vice Chancellor, Himalayan Garhwal University. Welcome, Dr. Sinha. And along with this, we have Mr. Harsha Kankanala. He is the co-founder of Advisory, professional doctorate in engineering, Netherlands. Welcome, Dr. Harsha. Welcome. Along with this, we have Dr. Sudhanshu Joshi, Assistant Professor, Visiting Professor, Research, University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. Welcome, Dr. Joshi. And I also would like to welcome and thanks Dr. Chandra Sharda ma'am, Head of Department of Management Studies, JIMS, Greater Noida. Thank you, ma'am, and welcome. And now, not taking so much of time, now I would like to welcome and invite Dr. Nafees Uddin, Assistant Professor, JIMS, Greater Noida, for the moderation of this session. I would like to welcome Mr. Dr. Meki Nafees for this session, sir. I would like to read about Dr. Nafees as well. Dr. Nafees then done his master's in physics and he is also a computer science master's and also pursuing his PhD from IIT ISM Dhanbad. He is having a 27 years of teaching experience and also associated so many NGOs working towards the betterment of education for rural kids. Welcome, Mr. Nafees, and now
Thank you.
the stage is yours, please.
Yeah, thank you, Deepak ji. It's such a bright morning. This is a great event. I was really looking forward to this because we have such a stellar star cast. Just looks like a Bollywood Hollywood blockbuster. On one hand, we have the stalwarts of the academia. On the other hand, we have the industry bigwigs here and people from banking sector. So it's a wonderful event. So panelists have already been introduced. A big warm welcome to all the panelists. And I would like to set the ball rolling by just decoding this technical jargon for the students who are here. For the uninitiated, let me say there are very few people who are not aware of these terms, I'm sure. But just as I said, to set the ball rolling. So the agenda for today is Industry 4.0, refueling startups, and a booster for young entrepreneurs. Now, Industry 4.0, the term, we are going under this industrial revolution right now at the moment across the world, and India is also, inside in the thick of it. So the term Industry 4.0, 4.0 started off in Germany, and then it just caught on. So this is industry built on top of a few technologies which are very axial to this, the key technologies. So we start with the sensors collecting data, which is kind of like industrial Internet of Things. So you got all the sensors taking in the data and then feeding it to the AI and machine learning engine. and there all the data crunching happens. The data science comes into picture. And then there is this decentralization into the cloud. So these are the key technologies which are there in Industry 4.0 or 4.0. You might call it a smart industry. So that's one aspect. Then the second aspect we have is the startups. And my, what an year it was last year, 2021. So I was, when Nika was in the news, they came up with the IPO and they raised, got into the unicorn club of the startups. That was a buzz that was created and that carried on. I believe in 2021, there were about 42 startups that got into the unicorn club across all sectors. We have the Farm Easy, we have the Urban Company, so Grofers, all these Indian startups making really big out there. So that's the other aspect. And then we have the youth here, who are the driving force. So India is really, I believe, it's poised for this industry 4.0 because we have the demographic profile, we have the youth with us, and then we have young entrepreneurs leading the way. So it's a wonderful session I believe we're going to have. So I think let's start it with the academia side. We have Dr. Manpreet Singh Mana. AICT is the umbrella organization which looks after the technical education in India. And Dr. Mana had been at the helm of affairs there. He's the former director of AICTE. And then the MOOCs, the Swayam MOE, he was very instrumental in launching that. And he has also been a faculty at SLIT Longowal. And he comes with more than 2 decades of glorious and versatile experience in the spheres of research, education, and administration. Presently working as the Associate Professor at SLIT Longowal, deemed university established by Government of India. All the while, he carries on in the pursuit of his personal engineering education research projects, as well as handling national and international assignments in the field of education. His prime areas of interest being smart grid, renewable energy resources, electric vehicles, EVs, they are really, we are looking at EVs now and the next revolution in the automobile industry. And electrical machinery. He has significant contributions through various approaches, such as directly supervising PhD students, having acquired a grand total of 15 patents, 2 of which have been granted and 13 are published, as well as publishing over 140 publications of research and review papers published in international and national journals, conferences, IEEE, IASTD, ACEEE, IEEE, IEET, etc. So that's a wonderful, provide. Welcome you, sir, and the stage is all yours. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nafiz ji. Such a wonderful opening remarks given by you, and I'm really grateful to the gyms as well as SHM to creating such a platform where we people can come together and we have some brainstorming sessions and the true takeaways, the learners. And the topic which really very much fascinate me, the industry 4.0 refueling startups. Absolutely, it's a refueling because the first fueling already has been done by Government of India. If you remember that time, when 2016, I was a part of the AICT at that time, we published our policy. Luckily, it was rolled out by the Honorable President of the country, the first startup policy by AICT. At the time, we used to be discussed in the room. Do we have this word is going to be so popular in this country? And that particular year, we could match only 733 startups in our country. Those could get registered. And this journey started from 16-17. And by 2022, just a last year batch, 14,000 startups got registered. And the totality as of now today, you will amazed to know that we are the third in this world. Yes, after China and USA, country India is a third with the 61,400 startups as per the latest economy survey conducted by the agencies. This is what the beginning. And if we will say anything in this platform or anywhere, we have witnessed Shark Tank. We are witnessing so many such kind of, I am sure in future we having some startup thons. Yes, we must have some startup thons so that we can bring other government agencies along with us. As of now, if you will just recall, $3.5 billion with 130 डील्स ओनली, 130 डील्स, ज्यादा नहीं, यानी कि 130 डील्स पे 130, आपका 3.5 बिलियन डॉलर का डील्स तक हो जाता है, साइन अप हो जाता है। ये क्यों हो पाया? क्यों कि स्टार्टअप वाला कॉन्सेप्ट, इट हैज बीन ब्रॉट टू द इंस्टीट्यूशन लेवल, it has been brought to the university level. Startups were there earlier also. You talk about the Tatas, Birlas, Adanis, Ambanis, startups only. That it was the legacy, they came up from the family roots. If my family, my grandpa or my grandma or someone in my family have a legacy of some industry or maybe some kind of a corporate, then they could have developed. क्या बोलते थे हमारे हिंदुस्तान में? वकील का बेटा वकील बनेगा, डॉक्टर का बेटा डॉक्टर बनेगा। अरे बाबा, मैं तो 9 to 5 जॉब करता हूं, मेरा बेटा तो क्लर्क बनेगा, जॉब करेगा। We could break this ice, we could break this ice because of this startup policy. Today you will find even a rickshaw puller's son, today you will find even a clerk's daughter is going to run a company and giving the jobs. कितना jobs इन्होंने दिया है from last, just see the 3 years scenario. इस 3 years scenarios में उन्होंने 46,000 jobs create किए, और आई एम हैप्पी टू शेयर 14% are the women entrepreneurs we could develop in last 5 years. And I'm happy to share also here, all they came up from the university system, from the college system, from the institution system. None of they claim I am a son of Adani or Abani or Birlas. That's the great thing. यानी कि फ्यूलिंग तो हमने किया, हमारे साथ अटल इंक्यूबेशन आके जुड़ गया, नीति आयोग जुड़ गई, एआईसीटी जुड़ गया, यूजीसी जुड़ गया, एंड नाउ 26 states already have their in-force startup policies. What's the next? Next is that अभी तक सिर्फ 75 IPOs आए, 75 IPOs में हमने 89,066 करोड़ फंड बच्चों को देने लायक बनाया। ये 75 IPOs को हमें 760 IPOs पे लेके जाना पड़ेगा। We should invite the institution like a national institution for the stock exchange, Mumbai. We should invite institutions like gyms to be come forward. Because these institutions are creating managers from last many decades. अगर ऐसे institutions जहां पे मैनेजर पैदा किए जा रहे हैं, हमें फंड मैनेजर पैदा करने होंगे। मुझे एक ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेके आनी होगी, I map you. आप अपना आइडिया लेके आओ, आप अपना डीपीआर लेके आओ, आप अपना प्रपोजल लेके आओ। आई विल कनेक्ट यू विद द ट्रू इंडस्ट्री or a government agency or an international agency through which you can have your joint venture, just like a Shark Tank. I really liked Shark Tank very much because they were 6. I want 60. I want 600 entrepreneurs, developed one should come. हमारे ना community kitchen में एक simple फंडा होता है. I just give example. Whenever you visit to any Gurdwara temple, there is a langar system. In this langar, you will go and you will take a thali from there. It's already washed, cleaned, swept and put on the big basket and spoons and glass. और वहां पे क्या लिखा रहता है? आप कृपया इसमें अपना लंगर छके, फिर धोकर आने वाली दूसरों के लिए, संगत के लिए रख के जाए। यही कार्य होता है जो आज हमारे 61,000 स्टार्टअप्स बन गए हैं, वो 2 साल बाद आने वाले स्टार्टअप्स को फंड देंगे, because they have taken a benefit from government of India like 5 lakh or maybe 50,000, maybe very penny amount, but they should gratitudeful back giving to the society, to the upcoming startups. ये हमें एक इकोसिस्टम डेवलप करने की जरूरत है, और उसमें सिर्फ यूनिवर्सिटीज ही काम कर सकती हैं, because university have the alumni linkage, university has the new young generation to be coming up. और उसमें अगर आज हम देखेंगे the top 5 startups in our country, they are coming from the financial technology, directly goes to gyms, healthcare, again directly go to the university system. There is a logistics. This is the third pillar. The fourth is entrepreneurs, and the last one is consumer services. Oyo rooms, Uber, Ola. These are the few ones still. In my country, अभी तक मुझे Uber ट्रैक्टर नजर नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे Ola एम्बुलेंस नजर नहीं आ रहा है। ये हमारी कोर सर्विसेज है। अगर एक गांव में 60 ट्रैक्टर नहीं चाहिए, 4 ट्रैक्टर चाहिए, 60 ट्रैक्टर के चक्कर में गांव में सुसाइड हो रहा है, वो किसान ट्रैक्टर की किस्त नहीं उतार पा रहा है, सो फाइनली ही सुसाइड। 4 ट्रैक्टर, क्योंकि 4 घंटे से ज्यादा ट्रैक्टर को एक फील्ड में नहीं लगता है, और दिन में 24 घंटे होते हैं। So the same tractor and diesel cost is common in that particular village. It is just, we have to just make an app and to be connect the tractor with the village people. This is sort of things. ऐसी चीजें आने वाली हैं, बहुत जल्दी आने वाली है. We have to just give them solutions. Similarly, for the electric vehicles, you are talking about this. E-rickshaws are there, e-bikes are not there. Ola cars are there, Ola bikes are just coming up in the coming days. And why only bikes? I think it is going to be a cycles also. It is going to be a sharing basis also. So these all my youngsters are coming. We have to refuel not only from the fund point of view. The refueling is required for the motivation point of view more. बच्चों के अंदर इतना आइडिया है, इतना जज्बा है, इतना जील है, उनको डर क्या लगता है, कोई मेरी उंगली पकड़ेगा. They never ask for the fund every time. Yes, of course, at one level we need the funding also. Angels are always welcome. Angels are always required. Accelerators are always required. अभी भी आपको पता होगा कि फेसबुक ने $50,000 5 स्टार्टअप्स को दिया. $50,000 ईच, 5. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ने 13 स्टार्टअप्स को ले लिया अपनी गोदी में. दे अडॉप्टेड. अगर ये बड़ी कंपनीज हमारे साथ चल के आती हैं, हमारे स्टार्टअप्स को अडॉप्ट करती हैं, उसका छोटा छोटा हिस्सा उनको दे देती हैं. तो मेरे लिए ये वाली ऐप बना दो, तो मेरे लिए सॉफ्टवेयर बना दो, तो मेरे लिए कंप्यूटर का ये गैजेट तैयार कर दो, तो मेरे लिए छोटा सा फ्रेम बना दो. अभी एक छोटी सी बच्ची है, उसने शुरू किया फुलकारी के ऊपर. अब लैपटॉप का कवर फुलकारी का बन रहा है. इट्स अमेजिंग. तो मैंने कहा डेल को लिखो, डेल को भी तो चाहिए होता है बैग, तो इको फ्रेंडली बैग क्यों नहीं चाहिए होगा. सो दे विल गो फॉर द इको फ्रेंडली बैग एंड दे विल गो फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स. सो दिस इज व्हाट द रिफ्यूलिंग वी ऑलवेज डू नॉट वांट टू गिव देम. और मुझे सबसे अच्छी चीज, मुझे इस मंच से कहते हुए बिल्कुल शर्म नहीं आती, सरकार ने ये सबसे बढ़िया काम किया कि अब तक हम क्या करते थे, बैसाखी देते थे. क्या देते थे? आपको मैं स्कॉलरशिप दे देता हूं, आपको फ्री बिजली दे देता हूं, है आपको मैं सब्सिडी दे देता हूं. सब्सिडी मत दो, फ्री बिजली मत दो, मुझे आयाम दो, मुझे जॉब क्रिएटर बना दो, मुझे जॉब सीकर से जॉब क्रिएटर. तो गवर्नमेंट वो वाला फंड अगर हमारे बच्चों को, स्टार्टअप्स को दे रही है ना, आई थिंक हमें फ्री बिजली नहीं चाहिए, हमें सब्सिडीज नहीं चाहिए, हमें फ्री बीज नहीं चाहिए. हमारे स्टार्टअप्स को खड़ा कर दो, वो एक आदमी 10 को नौकरी देगा, 10 के घर का रोटी चलाएगा, और वो हमारे देश को आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाएगा. तो आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाने की नींव स्टार्टअप से बढ़िया कहीं नहीं रखी जा सकती. एंड दे आर द ट्रू आत्मनिर्भर भारत वॉरियर्स ऑफ माई कंट्री. दोज विल ब्रिंग दिस. आई एम श्योर जो हमारे मोदी जी का जो सपना है ना, उसको साकार करने के लिए हमारे हर एक नागरिक का ये सपना है कि हम आत्मनिर्भर. इकोसिस्टम इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. आज इंडिया में बैठकर अगर थोड़ा सा ब्राउजिंग करते हैं ना पूरे वर्ल्ड में, मुझे बता दीजिए कौन सी कंट्री शांति से बैठी है. एक कंट्री का नाम लीजिए 132 कंट्रीज में से. अमेरिका से शुरू कर दीजिए, रूस पे जाके रुक जाइए. छोटी सी छोटी कंट्री वो डरी हुई कि बड़ा मेरे ऊपर आके पंगा ना करे. बड़ी कंट्री डरी हुई मेरा खजाना ना कोई छीन के ले जाए. नेटो उछली हुई है, यूनिसेफ उछा, सब उछले हुए हैं. भारत शांति से बैठा. इंडिया इज इन अ वेरी पीस माइंड, क्योंकि हम अपने काम पर फोकस कर रहे हैं, हम अपने बच्चों पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, हम अपनी इंडस्ट्री पे फोकस कर रहे हैं, हम अपनी एजुकेशन पे. हम एनईपी 2020 लेके आ रहे हैं और वहां पे वो जंग की बातें कर रहे हैं, वो न्यूक्लियर वार की बातें कर रहे हैं. दिस इज द डिफरेंस, यू नो, एंड वी कुड ब्रिंग इट. लीडरशिप इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. हमें ऐसे लीडर्स और पैदा करने होंगे देश में. वी हैव टू ब्रिंग द यंग लीडर्स, नॉट ओनली इकोनॉमी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, पोलिटिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आल्सो, स्पोर्ट्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू आल्सो. स्पोर्ट्स में स्टार्टअप्स को लाना बहुत जरूरी है. अभी स्पोर्ट्स की बहुत सारी इक्विपमेंट्स पे स्टार्टअप्स नहीं आ पा रहे हैं, स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन पे नहीं आ पा रहे हैं, स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर पे नहीं आ पा रहे हैं. हमें उस पे भी कुछ स्टार्टअप्स क्रिएट करने होंगे. विद जस्ट आई कंक्लूड विद माय दिस 10 minutes talk. I basically want to say really it's a refueling with the mindset, refueling with the funding, refueling with the environment in the campuses. जिस कैंपस को नीति आयोग ने 20 करोड़ नहीं दिया, तो जरूरी नहीं कि वहां पे इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर नहीं खुल सकता. इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर 2,000 रुपए से भी खुल सकता है, 2 लाख रुपए से भी खुल सकता है. सिर्फ हमें अपनी सोच बदलनी होगी. हमारे इंस्टीट्यूशन में इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर स्टार्ट हो जाता है. दिस आई जस्ट कंक्लूड. थैंक यू फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी हियर.
Thank you for that wonderful talk. And yes, of course, the key takeaways, the universities and the colleges where this silent revolution is happening, the students, they need just a guiding light, just a word of encouragement, and just to show them the path. And that's what I think is the objective of this particular webinar. And very well put, sir, Dr. Manpreet. Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So I think I'll be calling the next our next speaker, the next panelist. And Dr. Shakti Johan was a former country head administration. He is HDFC Bank Limited, real estate and facility management professional. Dr. Johan has more than 29 years of experience with world's best brands and largest organizations, coupled with focused specialization in business management, and operational effectiveness, making Dr. Shakti an extremely impactful and unique coach for entrepreneurs, CXOs as best leaders, professionals, and startup founders. Integration of experience, skills, knowledge, and childlike curiosity allows him to bring the best in his projects in hand. Vision is to promote compassion across levels in organizations and support them, making safe places to work. And famous for its leadership, Shakti Mantra hashtag that's running on the social media, I believe, on different social platforms. Dr. Chauhan has helped in setting up few best BPOs in NCR and retail brands like Shoppers Stop and Reliance Retail. So those are the FMCG giants. And over to you, Dr. Shakti.
Okay, great. I hope you all can hear me. So thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much. A very, very warm good morning. And once again, thank you so much for allowing us to speak. It's just a privilege. And I would you know, motivated, so much motivated after hearing to Dr. Manpreet. Literally, you know, he not only spoke strategy, but he spoke where we are connected as grounded leader. I think it speaks a lot about what he has learned and grown from what his experiences are. And I think I will also not talk about on pretty much on a helicopter view of what is happening, because all these 155 people who are logged in today, they are either starting a career or they are thinking of starting a career in something. So they have so many questions to talk about. But basic thing which even Dr. Manpreet touched is the leadership. I think that is the key factor today, and that has been the key factor across the generations and civilization in terms of how your leadership is and how you are translating, how you are executing those things which you feel should be done as a leader. And leadership is not about, definitely not about delegation of authority. It is about delegation of ownership. So how you create more owners. And when you create more owners, I think that is where you are creating so many, prime ministers and so many chief ministers, so-called personalities, the best of personalities. So it's not about what I can do, but it is about how I can allow others in what they want to do. I think that's a simple difference when we want to change from I to we, and that's what I think he touched a very very pragmatic topic in terms of how technology will change shape in coming time. When we talk about boosting the startup culture, and I also come back, I think what with whatever I've seen, early 2000 when I started my career setting up Shop Stop in Ansal Plaza. I think that's when the retail started in India, in Delhi. uh, and all of a sudden then BPO culture came in India. We had government absolutely focusing towards BPO and ensuring that all the perks, supports, policies are sort of changing and supporting to the development of that sort of business. Later on, now I think startup. I think this is the best time, and when you say not only best time, I think this is the best place where we are sitting as to have a startup, because it is not only allowing you to grow, but it is also holding you till the time you become self-sufficient. I think some policies and the way it has been explained and been executed is really wonderful by the government. And I hats off to the kind of these positive change. Someone who could see this happening ahead of the curve and supporting this all young generations. When we come back to the especially those who are getting into their graduation and starting a new career either in a corporate industry or even in any entrepreneurship. I think there are four things are very very important, and these four things are how do we grow, in terms of how do we grow in whatever we do. So grow has four words: GROW. I think it's very simple, but then it has got such a powerful meaning. I don't know if some of you have time to thought about it, but I'll explain you. Grow stands, with starts with G, which is gratitude. I believe, first of all, as leaders, as startups, we don't need to be ungrateful to whatever we have. Nothing comes by default to us. So let's have a gratitude too in terms of whatever we have developed so far, we have reached. and this gratitude does not stop to the environment and infrastructure around us, but to our immediate family. We are losing out family values, literally becoming so practical in today. I think those family thing has been really going away. Having small family, one or two kids, but I think maybe more prosperity, but then not less life. So I think this gratitude starts from even with your own parents, your siblings, your own wife, anyone around, brother, sister, anyone around who is making you that person who has allowed you to reach where you are today. Gratitude starts with every person who's opening a door when you are getting down from a car, or to a hotel, or to anyone. I think let's respect as an individual, every one of us, to bring that sense of gratitude to anything and everything around us. A very, very important part in terms of how we build a bigger organization. R is for respect. I think today I'll see uh, yesterday it was a World Health Day, and I think respect is all about, not in terms of who's respecting me, but what is respected around us in our family. We demonstrate ourselves as parents, then what we teach our kids. Whatever we demonstrate, they sort of learn more quickly than anything we tell them. So the demonstration of respect to everyone, I think that's more important to us. This could be respect to the resources around us in terms of what we have today. Respect to the work. I think today, we are not specifying into only few fields in globally what is important and prevalent, but we are going into every small field. Every small field, you talk about space, you talk about organic farming. Farming has gone into a different level altogether. Then we talking about environmental sustainability. It has gone to a different level of understanding and sustaining. So respect to anything and everything in terms of what we have makes us a better leader. And when we say that we implement and support things around us in a much more respectful way, I think that community, that fraternity, has only way to multiply around us. And that's very, very important part in terms of how the respect towards anything and everything around us. And that's that. And respect is even true when you join a small organization as an employee. I think it is not coming as simple as to anyone. So we must respect in terms of how they are taking care of you, how a manager is helping you, how a company is helping you. So we must carry that sort of a sense of respect to just make sure that we as become more compassionate leader to just bring in a better community around us. The next word is ownership. I think this is one of the key word in terms of how we grow in our life, how we grow any organization, how we set up any organization, how we contribute to any organization, how we work in any organization. So anything which we're doing, I think ownership remains one of the key fundamental, one of the key skill in terms of how we can contribute to that organization. Ownership is like, if I'm at home, and if my wife tells me that my make sure the refrigerator is repaired today, it's not working, I take every extra effort to make sure that someone comes and attends to repair that refrigerator. When I pay, I also negotiate with him that why you're charging 2,000 rupees. It's just a matter of 500 rupees or 1,000 rupees, because I own that money, I own that work, I own that home. Similar ownership in whatever we do, even in the organization we're working. Every small work, every small contribution, we demonstrate ownership is a long way about bringing that difference in terms of how we set up. This means that every small cost which has been spent by us is checked. We are aware, and it has been justified, and that's what brings you in terms of having less of your overheads, and then not falling flat like many of the startups which you must have seen, which were not organized properly. Their overheads not been thought through. Their the understanding about how the spend should take place, how awareness, in terms of the balancing out on the marketing and the spend and the money available. There are a lot of things which you can talk about being more on numbers when you are available. But then I think that ownership has is been one thing, is that it never stops with you, because if you are one of the founder, and if you work demonstrate that ownership, every person works with you will definitely develop that, demonstrate that sort of an ownership. So you have more owners in that organization, not more employees. And that's a big cultural change you can bring to anything and everything you do. And that's one of the biggest change we should always think about bringing in. No one else is going to think about this. It is my ownership. One word I added some time back, I think leadership is not about delegation of authority. Leadership is about delegation of ownership. So how do you create more owners? I think we need to think, shift this sort of from being employee or contributor to the owner. And the last but not the least is the willingness. Willingness is about, first of all, willingness is about going that extra mile. To me, willingness is, if even if I'm dead tired running my 15 kilometer in the morning, I feel that okay, maybe I want to do 1 more kilometer today. That is willingness, is that when we are done, but then we also want to that do extra 10% in that particular day. That willingness of using all the resources, all the technology available with us, or figuring it out in terms of how effective I can be in this sort of a role. Willingness is, of course, not surrendering today. Even if you feel that you are done and absolutely can't do anything, you want to surrender. Don't surrender to, today. You say that okay, maybe you surrender, but you will surrender tomorrow. That willingness to take that extra step every time, every word, every effort, every contribution, that extra thing, that 10% extra every day, one thing you learn every day adds 365s in a day. I think that willingness has to be in terms of open to learning, in terms of stretching your resources, your power, your strength, your skill, your network, you know, uh, anything and everything around us in terms of how we use. That is what willingness we talk about. I think that willingness is another way when we say that how we been as an Indians been successful about creating one of the best brands. I think when we say ad tech, we are number one in ad tech startups. In health tech, I think we're possibly number one or number two now. When we say fintech, I think we are number two, number three across. So all that has happened just because people have never set back, or they sort of taken the comfort away and allowing things to happen. It is always about pushing their effort, putting that extra 1% or 10%, but every day consistently, and reinventing yourself. I think that grow remains the key in terms of how we take ourselves, how do we grow ourselves. I'll be happy to answer any specific questions, but I definitely wish that more than the technology, more than the money, I think that overall instinct as a person takes you a long way than having all the resources available and not utilizing properly. That's where I will end my discourse, I would say. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, everyone. It has been really, really wonderful privilege to be part of such a panel here.
Thank you, Dr. Shakti. I think we got our first Shakti mantra, that is grow. And I hope our students have they take it away from here and apply it in their own lives and grow. May God bless them with all the growth. And thank you so much, sir. So our next panelist, Mr. Kunal Deep, I have an interesting story about Colpol. Colpol. In fact, I went to take a Viva course in an institute as an external examiner, and there my counterpart, the physics faculty, was asking students to upload. This was last year, I believe, on Colpol. So I was wondering, what is this Colpol? And I googled it, and then yeah, of course. So here it is. The world is, it's round, circular. We have Mr. Kunal Deep, VP Colpol, and he's the Vice President Customer Success at Colpol, a Bangalore headquartered education technology company which provides a comprehensive enterprise platform for digital transformation of key academic and administrative activities at higher education institutions. Colpol platform offers ERP, academic management system, LMS, AI proctored examinations, no-code business process automation for contactless and paperless campuses, and campus social network also. And Colpol works with education institutions in India, Middle East, Asia, West Africa, and Southeast Asia. It is trusted by top Indian institutions such as Ashoka University, Bennett University, OP Jindal Global, then DY Patil University, as well as BIT SOM. So Kunal has previously founded an edtech company, EduSaksham, and worked at Deloitte Consulting. He's a management graduate from IIT Mumbai. So over to you, Kunal. Welcome. Yeah.
Am I audible? Yeah, hi,
Yes,
I'm sorry, I
I
was
can hear you
facing
now.
Yes, you
some
are.
network connectivity issues at the office. Sorry for the network connectivity issues. Thank you for the warm welcome. So here, my name is Kunal. I am a graduate, postgraduate from IIT Bombay and into the industry for last 14 plus years. So I am serving as a VP of customer success at Colpol. So Colpol is a tech startup in B2B SaaS space. So in terms of Industry 4.0, how it is helping with the recent pandemic, the way the services what Colpol has provided, we are offering our services to multiple institutions in the country and outside India. What we have done is we have helped campuses in complete digitization overnight. The way it has helped institutions run their online classes, maintaining their entire infrastructure into the digital format. Entire data has been transformed in the digital space. With the click of button, you have all the details available at the platform. So the way it has helped the institutes in terms of conducting their online classes, or let's say in terms of capturing their attendance, having conducting quizzes and then immediately publishing the results. So all those things is being taken care at Colpol. So what we have also done in terms of digitization of the campus is we have a no-code campus help center where with just the configuration of services, how campuses can be truly digitized and students will have a seamless experience. So the way, let's say, if I talk about if I'm facing any problem within the institutes, so I can raise a service request in the platform, and students can click a picture. Let's say if they find something, some issues, so they can click a picture at the click of button. They can raise a service request. It goes to the concerned person in terms of how that let's say issue has to be resolved, and then the necessary action is being taken. So what I meant is that how Colpol is helping different institutions come online, take the advantage of online teaching. And with the NEP, what has been implemented, it has become more and more mandatory for these institutions to come online, experience the edtech, and with very few startups in B2B edtech SaaS model. So there are majority of the Indian edtech startups are into B2C space where they are reaching out to directly consumers. But if you look at B2B startups in terms of edtech SaaS, there are only handful of startups who are working with higher education institutes in terms of helping them truly provide the digital experience to the students. Now, when they come on Callpol or any such tech platform, the way it helps is that currently with NEP, there can be like top institutions can also offer their courses online. So students who could not get into those institutes can also run or join those courses online. So it helps institutions widen their network in terms of reaching out to the students or helping students learn what they wanted. Now, with that, in terms of Industry 4.0, one is all about the technology, and the second part is all about being the best service provider. Because without the services, even though if I provide one of the best edtech platforms, but my end user has to be satisfied with the services, because he may not know the entire services or the technology platform. So unless we provide that kind of technology support or the customer service to the institutions, to the faculties, because these are the some of the faculties who may have come to the platform but due to pandemic overnight. So they need a lot more hand holding in terms of how they have to perform certain actions onto the platform, because they were into physical infrastructure, and going forward also we may have blended learning, even though post pandemics the colleges reopen, but still there will be a lot more things which can be done in terms of blended format of learning. And that's what Colpol is all about, and my role is into complete customer success, where we help each of the institute adopt the true digital platform what Colpol is. So I mean that's how my perspective about Colpol and how we are helping institutions truly transform digitally. Thank you.
Thanks, Kunal. Thanks. I don't know whether you heard about my experience with Callball, but because of the audio issue, but
Yeah, I think I
surely,
missed initial part,
yeah,
so I
yeah. So,
lost some of the
but
context.
I just went through that, and it's like it's integrating the canteen issues also, and
Yes,
that
yes, yes.
everything you talk about a student issue, and it's there. So and that too, it's on AI power. So
So it's
wonderful
kind of a
integration of technology
contactless service what we provide. So
service.
be it canteen services where you just scan your QR code. Let's say if you want to have your attendance captured, you just stand in front of the tab and you scan the QR code, then
QR
you
code.
take your pick. So I mean,
Yeah.
a truly digital experience, contactless institute post the post pandemic. I mean, post the pandemic era.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now it's time for next speaker. So so far we've been talking about the academics and the academia as well as the companies. Now there's a place in between which bridges the gap, and that's where Mr. Raghavan Narvi comes into play, and he's the CEO of Epitome.ai, and he comes with 20 plus years of experience in teaching, training, recruitment, resource management, and entrepreneurship. His expertise is in training and building engineering teams across India, US, and Europe. He built teams for major companies in aerospace, industry, appliances, and then, of course, automotive energy. He did his BE in mechanical engineering and master's in thermal power systems. He's currently the founder and CEO of Epitome.ai. It's an AI platform which bridges students' aspirations, corporate requirements through learning. Epitome.ai has more than 20,000 free courses, and it has Microsoft courses for free on its platform. So Microsoft's also on board. So Mr. Raghavan, welcome, and please, you can take away, continue here with us.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible?
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Nafis. Thanks for the intro. And I heard more than 150 students are on this platform listening to us. Hi, all. Okay. So let me focus more on to the students because that is what my passion is, talking to the students. I started my career as a lecturer, so that's still that teaching, so that fire is there in the belly, and I always feel that this is one which tells you after 1 hour of teaching whether you have done your work or not, right? And it's a noble profession. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll share some 4 to 5 slides. I may not take of so 10 minutes of the students' time. I know they are all Genjis. They'll not have that much of patience. So if they want to listen, they will go to YouTube and kind of stuff to see and know what is all about Industry 4 and what was Industry 1, 2, 3, and what is happening and all that. Okay. So let me share a small presentation if I can. So otherwise, I'll just go to, yeah. So there is an issue with my presentation. Okay, I'll just go to my, yeah. Some opportunities in Industry 4. So what is Industry 4, right? We all discussed, I mean, you all discussed about what is Industry 4. Industry 4 is nothing but a revolution in the cyber physical transformation of manufacturing. So that is what people, they call that as so Industry 4. What is the opportunities, right? So what are all opportunities that are coming in this Industry 4? You talk about IoT, you talk about sensors, you talk about digital transformation, you talk about cyber security, you talk about anything like cloud security, cloud backups, Everything, it is all about the industry 4, right? And those are all the opportunities that are there for the students to pick it and so start something on their own. And they always think, right? And this is what I have not done. When you are in college today, thanks to the government, thanks to the great startups, successful startups, thanks to the enterprises who has come on board to help students to become entrepreneurs, right? So majority of the students, they don't know about those things. So always I tell, like, what is startup? What is startup, right? There are only 3 things in the startup, guys. One is problem. Find the problem. I mean, it is not required, like, so you pass out of the institute and then look for the problem. In your college, there are hundreds of problems, right? You talk to your friends, you talk to your parents, you talk to your relatives, right? So understand what is the problem. That is first fixing. I mean, first knowing the problem is very important. Second, get the solution. What is that solution? So always I see, like, so we talk about, the minute we talk about the solution, we talk about big tech kind of a things. Not required. Small, simple things. And we always talk about solutions to be connected to the tech. It's not also required. Solution has to be simple. And third, for the problem, what you solve is people ready to pay you. That is what is all about the startup, right? That is what is all about the startup. And I have seen, guys, like, so I mean, my presentation and my lecturing is to the students. So so there are lots of startups. So they incubate. They lot of ideas. But at the end of the day, what one mistake we all do is, who is the end customer? And is he ready to pay for your solution? That is what is very much required, guys. Okay, that is what is really required in a startup, right? Otherwise it will become an academic project. So when you are in college, so you can just think of, select some problems and start. Now, to start a startup, what is required? To start a startup, what is required? One, you need the skill. So now just think of, okay, so you have got a problem, you know the solution, and there are some people who can pay you. That's good. Then you need to get the skills to provide that solution. That is very, very important, right? Don't worry about as I said, like, so okay, I have to do using the artificial intelligence, anything solution, it is intelligent. Okay, the solution itself, it will be intelligent. Okay, so you don't need to worry about, like, so I should get into an artificial intelligence or machine learning or a big IoT. It's not required. First get this simple solution, and then you think of, like, what is that skill that you should own to give that solution. Now, since you are in maybe, like, so 3rd year or 4th year, what is very important for you guys is to get that skill. What is that course you want to take? That is very important, right? What is that course? List down the skills that is required. List down the course for each of the skills that is required, and look for a platforms which gives that courses. Again, we always think that you pay big money, you get a great experience. It's not like that, guys. Okay, it's not at all like that. Okay, so look for really good platforms which gives you a real good courses, and complete those courses, and then one by one tick, okay, this course I have done, and this is the skill I got it, this is the course I've done, and this is maybe, for that solution what you want to provide, you may not, one person may not do everything, right? You build a cross-functional branch teams. Get two guys from computers, one guy from mechanical, one guy from biotechnology, or whatever the solution you want to provide. Based on that, get the students from the different branches, and then do a small project. Talk to your mentors, talk to your professors. Today, by the grace of the government and the leadership and all, so there are so fantastic platforms out there, guys. Okay, just 4 years back we were not knowing. Okay, so one kid, he came to me and he said, hey, I built some kind of solution. I want to put it on the cloud. How to do that? Again, you were supposed to sign up for AWS or Azure by paying money, but now for the students there are free Azure cloud spaces available for $1,000 or something like that. I mean, $1,000 free. You don't need to pay a single pie for those things. It's free. Do that. Put it on the cloud. If you need any help, people are there. Okay, you can reach out to us. Okay, ask us. Okay, how to do that? We are there, and trust me, guys. So I am seeing a transformation in the whole tech world. People are ready to help each other. Okay, there is nothing like competition. Earlier we used to talk about that. There is nothing like that now. It is more of helping each other, building the nation, right, through our startup ecosystems, and then release some products into the college. Your friends are there, your professors are there, right? And build it, give it, and listen to them. You will get a lot of criticism. That is one of the skill you have to build if you want to become an entrepreneur. Life is not easy, guys. Entrepreneur life is not easy. Every day he will go through pain. Okay, whether it is a 1 million or 100 million or $1 billion company, every day is a learning day. Every day you will hear on your product, that is not good, this is not good. So practice that. And college is the best place, I'll tell you, because your friends are really good friends, right? So they want you to become successful. So they give right feedbacks, right criticism, right? And once you did that, talk to your professors and tell them, hey, I want to start a company. When you are in final year, we talk about so I heard someone was telling so 14,000 startups, 15,000 startups. Why, man? In one college, in one college, in 1 year, there can be 50 startups. Do that. You have all the facilities, you have all the backups, you have all the required infrastructure given by the government, given by the professors, given by the college. Start. And by doing that, you will learn how to start a company, how to register a company, how to build a company, what to learn, what to do, what not to do. Your professors are there. They will teach you. Best place, guys, best place. I always feel so I should, I missed this opportunity because the ecosystem is so beautiful and the time is so great. Start something. Don't think of failure. Just last 6 months back, so I I did a small, a small cohort in one of the college, and I said, you have so much of issue because when the exams are coming, what you do is like, so you take like last 10 years question paper, right? And then you come up with some probability, and then you study those questions to make sure, like, so you pass the exams, right? A small AI, data science, that is what it is. You don't need like millions of data, guys. You want like just 10 years, 5 years back question papers and kind of stuff, and build some predictive analytics and come up with the solution. Fantastic, great. Okay. Whether it is success, failure, don't worry. Start, right? And you can always reach me on my email r.v@epitome.ai. So hope someone from association can send across my email ID to the students. Whenever you have any issues, you want to build something and kind of stuff, please reach out to us. If possible, definitely we will help you guys. Thank you.
Wow, that was too good. It's a perfect blend of academician as well as the entrepreneur and the advisor. I've taken some notes here because we are talking to students every day, and there's some really wonderful suggestions. The team building, talking to different departments. Now Chandra ma'am is there from the BBA department. I'm here from the physics department.
Yes,
And I teach computer science students. So yeah, this is a wonderful insight into how things can be done. And yes, until you try something, how would you know whether it works or not? So thank you so much, sir.
Good
Thank you
advice.
for those wonderful words. I'll make sure that your email ID is also forwarded to the students, and they will definitely they will reach out to you when they are looking for some solution, some problem. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Build something, and let us know.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Sure, sure.
it's time for our next speaker. I'm so glad another one from our own fraternity, Dr. N.K. Sinha. He's the Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Agrasen Himalayan Garhwal University. Professor Dr. Sinha is the Vice Chancellor of Maharaja Agrasen Himalayan Garhwal University, Uttarakhand. He served also Sri Venkateshwara University as Pro Vice Chancellor. Dr. Sinha is a well-known professor in the area of management and specializes in managerial economics, international business, and business environment. Dr. Sinha holds a PhD in economics also. He has also served following organizations. He was the CEO of Venkateshwara Group of Institutions, Meerut, SRM University as a professor and head, Department of Management Studies, Radha Govind Group of Institutions, Meerut, BDS Institute of Management Meerut, and ABM Ghaziabad, IMS Ghaziabad. So welcome, Dr. N.K. Sinha. Kindly take over from here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
It's a privilege to me to be present here in this discussion. And really, it's a very important discussion today that whether this industry food is the appetizer to our new entrepreneur or our students for the future. Just if we see that being a student of economics, that the first industrial revolution we experienced in the last quarter of 18th century. And from 18th century, 19th century, and the first quarter of the 19th century, we find that the second revolution we experienced, and third revolution, it has taken time, and it is the last quarter of this 20th century, and later on the current industry food. The first industrial revolution came when a steam engine developed or invented. From mechanization, electrical, electronics, to now, this is the revolution of the computers, or you can say the virtual revolution today. So I'm very much thankful to Dr. Chandra Charda that she has given me opportunity to speak on this particular issue. And this talk organized by the GYMS in association with SOCHM. And I'm very much thankful to both these organizations that you have chosen this very important subject. As Nafis Uddinji pointed out, that today's electronic media, if we see in the evening on the news channel, all the advertisements are from the startups, whether it is Baidu, 1MG, whether it is RMG, whether it is Car24, and from diversified areas, we have startups in our country. And it also helped us to understand that the industry is not a legacy, what earlier was, what pointed out by Dr. Manpreet Manna, that earlier it was Tata, Birla, Dalmias, all those industrial clans having monopoly in their areas, and the entrepreneurs are built. Now, with the advent of this virtual system, what happened that people are now in a startup race? As a student of economics, we have only two things, that we are trying to minimize the cost and maximize the revenue. On these two words, always economists work. So from the steam engine, electrical invention, electronics, and now virtual invention has reduced the cost of production, reduced the cost of getting information, reduced the cost of arranging the input for the production of goods or services. So this industry 4 is a good opportunity for the common man. It is not only the learned people, technically trained people, or specialized people can start their startups. It's the people who can concentrate on their problems and finding solution of those problems may create a startup. I remember one slogan our Swami Vivekananda ji given to young generation, and that is very much important to us, that the mantra of development is take up one idea, make that one idea your life, think of it, dream of it, and live on that idea. Let the brain, muscles, nerve, every part of your body be full of that idea, and just leave other idea alone. That is the way to success. That is the way great spiritual giants are produced. So this startup idea, this mantra, already given by our son Swami Vivekananda. And viewing these facts, our educational system, since I'm from education industry, so I would like to quote some educational development taken in our country that no doubt Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India launched Make in India initiative in 2014 to facilitate investment and foster innovation, building best-in-class infrastructure, making India a hub of manufacturing, design, and innovation, vocal for local slogan, with aspiration to motivate and develop the younger generation with the help of digital movement. Why Modi is recognized as a brand ambassador for our country? These are the philosophies that they have been. And on the basis of these, our educationists, under the leadership of eminent scientists, the new education policy developed, and this new education policy 2020 implemented in India for the development of students in their social, intellectual, emotional, ethical, moral, and aesthetic facets of an individual in an integrated manner, which prepares them to transformation of the country and make India as a Vishnu Guru. An institution helping to get job-oriented, professional, technical higher education earlier. Now, this has a little bit shift towards the entrepreneurship, skill development, so the students can start their own enterprise, business, or industries, which may lead to the development of their own area where they are staying and the country. And it will help to stop migration from one place to other place. Nowadays, most of the metro cities are overcrowded and people are migrating from rural areas to urban areas. So this will help to be remain there because the internet connectivity is available all over India, even remotest part of the country. So the use of technology and the flexible system with traditional values prepares students to become successful in life and eventually become responsible citizens and contribute to the society and country at large. Congenial learning atmosphere in India encourages learners to develop their personality holistically with the help of conceptual knowledge, practical training, behavioral practices, and keep themselves fit by practicing yoga for a healthy and spiritual lifestyle. So these are the facts that new education policy has brought here, and this new education policy has developed strategically for a longer period, so many consultations, and we hope that this will nurture our people and they will face the global challenges. Rightly remarked by Mr. Shakti Singh that the rest of world is in the problem because Russia and Ukraine war has given threat to all the people in Europe, America, and other parts of the country or parts of the world. And here in India, we are moving towards the development. We are developing our educational systems. We are developing our industrial infrastructure. We are setting a new goal every day for the export, setting goal for production every day. We have started our production for our defense needs also. we have started production of the rural infrastructural development. So the government of India has already planned and has initiated the flagship of the development, that is the Startup India and Stand Up India. So it should develop a strong ecosystem for nurturing innovation and startups in the country that will drive sustainable economic growth and generate large-scale employment opportunities. Because even today, if we are going to get admission in any institution, first question of the student is, what is the placement record or track record of the institution? So now this mindset is going to change, and we are trying to know that how many institution has developed their own startup in the educational institution. So this paradigm shift is very much important, and it has taken nowadays. Now, a small thing that startup in India is the hub for the development, and as I pointed out, from educational service to the supply of milk, supply of groceries, everything is on the internet now. So this is a great opportunity for the people developing in their area. This pandemic has given also challenge to us, as we have seen that education technology companies, they started developing modules for the students and giving them learning at their own place. Even they have developed examination systems so they can examine and may not lose the tempo of learning, tempo of education. So all these facts we had here in this period. Now, one thing is that we must be thankful to the government that the government has given us opportunity. Also, they have allocated corpus fund for the development of this startup. And we must be thankful to the implementation machinery who has taken care day and night for the development of this Startup India. So Startup India has opportunity because the access of low cost, low power sensor technology, affordable and reliable sensors are making technology possible to more manufacturers. We are talking about nowadays IoT and Internet of Things. That Internet of Things has given a greater opportunity to the startups, and we hope that the entrepreneurs, our students, our learners will try their best to get from this internet technology, or you can say Industry 4 will be helpful, and we must think about the Industry 5. So because the period of industrial revolution, you see first to second, second to third, third to fourth is reducing. So the fifth industrial revolution also we are expecting very soon. So we must adopt whatever develops in our mind at earliest. Firstly, I congratulate to those students who have successfully completed their degrees, masters, or professional degrees, and they are trying to get this startup, because a number of the startup people tried, but few of the startups has got momentum at early stage. But you must not be discouraged to see the time gap that you are getting too much time to be success. Success will be sure. Only honest implementation of your thought, your knowledge, your context, or your peers is very much important. And I'm very much thankful to the SOCHM and the institution where these kind of discussion, thought is shared with the students, and students getting opportunity for the future movement. And this is very much important. At last, but not least, that I'm very much thankful to all the faculty members, the staff, and the management of the institute, that they have organized this talk and given opportunity to share my views. With a blessing from the Swami Vivekananda, and my wishes to channelize positive energy for the best future endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And yes, your mantra of just eating your idea, drinking your idea, sleeping your idea, and focus on the fly. And that's how the students should go ahead. If they have an idea, just stick to it, think about it, do deliberations in their mind. And yes, of course, the National Education Policy has a lot of provisions for colleges also and students also to go ahead and try out something new. Yes, thank you so much for those insights. Thank you, sir. So yeah, our next speaker is Mr. Harsha Kankanala from Advisely. He's the co-founder and a professional doctorate in engineering from Netherlands. Mr. Harsha comes from a family of teachers. Harsha has always been passionate towards education. He has been researching ways to improve education and make it more engaging and purposeful. Harsha has a professional doctorate in engineering from TU Delft, Netherlands, and is currently focusing on student-centric innovation learning systems and product development. And of course, Advisely is also, using the power of AI to transform engineering in India. So welcome, Harsha. Please take it forward from here.
So thanks a lot, Nafis. It's really tough. When you're in the end of the entire panel, with such a versatile panel, we have already touched upon very good points. In fact, most of the points seems pretty covered. So, firstly, hello, students, fellow students, faculty, and the entire panel here. So, sticking to the topic for the today, Industry 4.0 and refueling startup, a booster for young entrepreneurs. We as a nation, we really have to understand one point. All of us together is India being a young demographic, with which Manpreet Mana he has already kickstarted the entire event with this. We are speaking about a country with such a young population where it says like more than 50% are below 25 or more than 65% below 35 age group. So such a talent pool a nation having is a great asset where you can't plan for it. If you think of Europe or any other nations, the biggest problem that they have is they have larger population where they have to pay pension. But here we are speaking about a country where you have larger population, where you are building talent, where you're building a skill asset for the nation. That itself is one asset that we as a country should be able to really thrive about, and we should really focus on and make it count for ourselves. Now, one thing that was happening for past 10 years or 15 years is that there's a lot of talent which is moving out of the nation. Today we feel so proud about CEOs of top-notch companies being Indians, but unfortunate fact is they're not in India at the moment. So we really have to, as a country, can we really have a strategy when we're speaking about Industry 4.0 with such a huge talent? Can we really have that movement where we are speaking about people coming back to the nation? And also people within the nation are focusing on the on the talent and really building something upon it. The moment we are really stretching or focusing on those, I think we are really speaking about a country which can really redefine the way the progress towards education 4.0, where it will not end up being a discussion, but we are already under the practice. So for in order to achieve those things, of course, young companies really need to pitch in, and that's where startups have a bigger role to play. Of course, we can speak of. I was actually surprised when Manpreet Manna sir said there were more than 61,000 or 61,400 startups in the nation. Such a great thing from where he said they were initially 700 or 800 to 61,000. A very quick boost. But also there's one side of the story where they say 90% of them is a success rate. So, but the culture of startup is very different. We startups, they are people or they are the set of mindsets where they have the appetite for taking risks. I mean, they want to give themselves at least 2 years before they end up into a corporate company following the task, but they wanted to give themselves a chance where they wanted to try what they wanted to achieve in their lives. And then they have that risk appetite because startup journey is never an easy one. There is no right formula for success for startups. In fact, people say, getting into a startup is more like as a marriage. In spite of all the experiences all the elders have, no matter how much feedback that they give, there's no right formula for successful marriage. Everybody has to go through it. So, in spite of many advices that you get, unless until you have a strong intent and you're more focused on it, you didn't get into it because it's an opportunity. You can't jump into a startup saying that today I'll create a startup because I feel this is really cool. It's not about cool. It's not about trend. It's about you being passionate and you really feel like this is something that you will fit into, or this is something that you wanted to risk for because you're extremely passionate about it. Passion and patience, both. Because in spite of all passion, today you might say to your parents that you want to get into it, but within no time your parents say, how much are you earning per month? But it might take 2 years or 3 years. Do you really have patience for it? So intent, passion, and patience is something that as a young citizens of the nation, we should really carry. And also knowing into the fact that success ratio is just 90%. So the moment people come with that already with a clear mindset that yes, I'm getting into something where I really wanted to risk it and make it count, not just for me. If I make it count, it is me, my family, and entire set of people who will join this company, and also the nation at large, which will benefit. That openness for thought is something, and the maturity of thought is something that we all should carry if you really wanted to see Industry 4.0 as a practical thing rather than a vision anymore. And second thing is the journey of startups is also, I would consider it is as a way of life. Way of life as in you know what you're getting into and you really have to thrive about it and you have to start your journey. And there are a number of people who would like to support you. But in spite of 101 things that you will get a support from, at the end of it, it is always you who have to define your journey and you have to go ahead. And we have to be really clear about, we have to have a semi-permeable membrane for our ears. And I'm quoting it second time, semi-permeable membrane for our ears, because there's too much of noise in the market. If you listen to everything and everything, you'll end up being what is there in the market, but you can't innovate. It is important for us to take feedbacks. It is equally important for us to say no to things where everybody says get into data science. If you listen to it, probably you might have an expertise in, let's say, UI UX development. I'm just taking an example here. But if you listen to market, you will stop your expertise and you will get into something because it pays more. So you have to understand what you are into and focusing on what your innermost strengths are. So looking from inside is what we have to develop, and that's something that we never got a chance till now. Right from our schooling, it is always about we are given a path and we are following. If suddenly somebody says like try to think yourself and try to come out of something, it's not something easy. I mean, till date, we never got an opportunity to do that. Suddenly, if we are asked to do that, we don't know where to look into. We always are looking for somebody to tell something, but looking in within and trying to figure out what you are, what you want to be, and giving yourself a chance is what country actually needs. And if you're actually getting into it, I'm sure we will celebrate success at large, and the entire world will clap for the nation like India. And getting into what we do, guys, I might need a couple of seconds. I think my laptop is about to die. Just give me a second. Sorry for the distraction. Yeah. So considering we as a nation, what we at Advisory are into, we are into, again, we have done a lot of research. What we realize is it's never about platforms. It's never about anything else. Can we really build something where it will help students to look into their own self? Can we really build something wherein it guides students like Google Maps? So we all know, we all use Google Maps, no matter whether we are tech savvy or not. We are lost in the journey. We don't know where we are getting into. But then in no time it says, hey, you're taking a wrong turn. If you go in this direction, you will reach, let's say, Rishikesh. If you go in this direction, you might reach Dehradun. So whether or not I'm I'm aware of this, location, roadmaps and so on and so forth, based on the way at what speed you're going, at what milestones you're passing, it tells you where you're getting into. Similarly, even in education, can we really have a technology where, based on the what you're learning, what your expertise is, whether you're mastering every subject, every topic, not necessary, probably you have something which you're really good at. Can a technology tell you what you're good at and where you're heading towards, and then tell you, because you're going in there in this direction, probably this is something that you could achieve, which is more like it is you. It is not what market trends are. I mean, following always market trends is not good. Though people say you have to follow market trends, I'm a firm believer where you have to follow your trend. I mean, you have to know what you're good at. So that is something that we are trying to build. In fact, 2 years before, when I have come back from Europe in 2015, because it is just connected to startup, I don't want to make it personal, but just I'll take a couple of minutes. When I come back, I thought 2015 to 17, I'll build a platform. 17, 18 will actually get into the market and we'll make it a success. It is 2022 now. It took me 7 years to actually build this tech. This is one such tech where not just India, elsewhere it is not there as well. Creating the Google Maps for learning within the institutes. And we're also B2B SaaS, thanks to Colpol. They're also into the same sector. So what I thought of 2 years of a journey has shifted to 7 years, but we didn't want to give up, because we know for the fact that if we're really solving this problem, we're not just helping an individual, we're helping their family and the nation at large. And finally, today we have become a company where we have that AI tech with us, which can empower the entire institute to provide personalized education to each and every student. It's like institution is giving a Google Maps for each and every student while they are following their curriculum. Still, every student knows where they are heading towards. The moment we are solving that purpose, as Manpreet Manna in his really energetic talk, he said, we should be able to map skill and connect to industry every minute. So similarly, every second it continuously algorithms keep running behind, and it tells this industry is where you are heading towards. Harsha, if you learn these few topics, even for cybersecurity, you might be a good fit for. Harsha, you wanted to become data scientist, but you're not good at math. Do you want to revise your topics in math? So it is more like that personal mentor or assistant sitting with you for next 4 years and helping you achieve your goals. Even if you want to become an entrepreneur, it does the same. So that's what we are into as Advisory, and we have built this, and we started from Tamil Nadu, where we realized the passion for education is, at least personally, I have seen there's a lot of passion for education there, and we started from there, and now we are slowly spreading towards north. Our vision is to build more and more AI campuses, where AI is not taught as a course, but AI is actually used in every course. So that's what we dream for, or we envision for, and we have a tech for that. And going back to the topic, guys, all of us as students or as youth, whether you're youth or not, it doesn't matter. We should take the opportunity at least for a couple of years in our own lives, to think big. And everybody says think out of box, but first we have to define what our box is, and we really have to then start thinking out of box. And there's a lot of things that are changing thanks to pandemic. What we would otherwise see in 5 years, we are seeing the change has happened in 2 years. It has done some good. Unfortunate, of course, a lot of loss that we have to see. But in a way, as per technology penetration and many other things is concerned, it has done some good as well. It has made people to adapt things which they never dreamt of. Because of all these things, this we are at a right point, a right place at a right time, where today you take up something and you put in your complete energy focused on that single point. Don't go everywhere. Just focus on that single point. There's every higher chances that you would succeed, and you startups will teach you every day. I think earlier speakers have spoken about it. No matter whether you have 10 years experience, even the best of the unicorn founders are still learning. So that as people speak about lifelong learning, startups give you the best of the opportunity to actually become lifelong learners, because there's no right way of doing things. You have to try out everything, and you have to listen to everyone, and you have to say no to things. There's a lot that it teaches what life is all about. So make sure you are surrounded by bright minds. In fact, everybody says what you are is an average of 5 best people that you are surrounded by most of the times. So you have to be make sure you are also surrounded by bright minds when you're trying to get into this change. And together, let's make this happen. Yes, startups will become, will bring a step curve in innovation with respect to Industry 4.0 is concerned. A lot of technologies requires a lot of transformational changes, and we as young guns today, we have openness for things. We are the media and the social media and everything has made everything available to us on a click of a button. So with all those resources availability and the openness for technologies, I think together we can make it happen, and we can really fuel the entire Industry 4.0 transformation and see it and be a part of that change as well. With this, thanks everyone. Thanks for all your valuable time. I hope I haven't taken longer than the session time. Thanks a lot.
Well, that was just very pragmatic and practical advice. And yeah, you do develop a semi-permeable membrane in your ear when you are passionate about something. I can relate to that, and I 100% agree with you. Even when students talk to me and they ask about my experience, I've always done what I wanted to do. I never did something that I didn't like doing. So when you're passionate about something, and then you have to also understand what you can get from out of it, So if you have, it's an amazing piece of software if you have developed. What happens is at the end of it, there's disappointment, that this comparison, and then see where I am, where's the other guy. But it's never happened with me because I always was willing to trade up anything for what I'm doing, right? So that's wonderful. I would I would just wish that you would go on and on, because this is just and you also your experiences.
Is it just me, or others unable to hear Nafis? Is it my connectivity?
Please, you can switch off your video. I think it will be better.
Please repeat. There was an audio issue.
Yeah, Nafis is not, your voice is not audible.
So I don't know this is in my error. Am I audible?
No, it is.
Question. Okay. I think
Voice is not audible.
no, but posting.
No issue, Nafisi. Thank you so much, Harshaji, for your wonderful speech. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sudhanshu Joshi ji, Assistant Professor, Doon University, Visiting Professor Research, University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. Dr. Joshi currently working in operation and supply chain management area, Dune University. He is uh, he is one of visiting professor, University of Technology, Sydney, Australia. His research interests anchored within digital twin, cyber supply chain management with special focus on green supply chain network design, sustainable supply chain design, and coordination in humanitarian supply chain network. Application of big data analytics in sustainable and humanitarian supply chains. Emerging technologies including Industry 4.0, circular economy, agriculture supply chain, and soft computing application in supply. He is the member of with leading society like CSI, IEEE, TOMS, Informs. He is a series editor of a research node series, CRC Press, Taylor and Francis. I would welcome Dr. Joshi. Now the stage is yours, please.
Thank you so much, Deepak ji. Thank you so much, Nafis sir. And I've seen a lot of family faces here. Dr. Sharad Sharma I've seen, and thank you, Mr. Harish, also for inviting to be the part of this great event. And to Sachom and the host institution. Thank you, Dr. Chandra, also. So I wish to share, being a teacher, I performed a PPT. So we are like, so is it allowed to use PPT for this session? Can I use it, please? If allowed. Can we see this? Please confirm.
Yes, sir.
Deepak.
Yes,
So
yes,
this is
yes,
something,
Dr. Joshi.
I made few slides and focusing upon the fact that most of us are the learners, and on the other side, we have students also. So like the earlier speakers talked about, the ongoing, the landscape of startups in India. It is growing like anything. And we have witnessed great, upsurging trends in startups. A lot of intervention have happened, and we stood third. And consecutively from last so many years, companies are, coming up. A lot of internet startups, a lot of fintechs are being established. And India is growing up as a digital economy with a strong backbone of internet and digitally acknowledged technologies like Internet 4.0. So these are the list of, as we have seen in this slide also, these are the startups which are now become the part of the Unicorn Club last year. 42 startups has joined the Unicorn Club in the last year 2021 by the end December 2021 31st of date. And even within the whole world is struggling with the pandemic, Indian startups are coming up like anything, and they are from many of denominations, not only the pharmaceutical startups, they are from the FMCG and retailing business as well. And India is also witnessing, many of startups are coming up. Like I was seeing one of the report by Inkplus. It's showing that 100 unicorns are already being, entered into the unicorn. 100 startups in year 2022 are already being a part of Unicorn Club, which is a very enthusiastic figure. And since most of the startups are coming through the graduates of engineering colleges and management graduates, so this is an opportunity ground for most of us as a student. And I've just seen that most of the startups are being backed by digital technologies in this slide as well, like uh, digital insurance, for instance.
Sorry to interrupt you. Could you please make it full screen?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, please.
Is it coming clearly?
Yeah.
All
Now,
right. So,
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Harishji. So I was talking about the success saga of Indian startups, and the opportunity lies with the infusion of technology with the entrepreneurial mindset. And for the students which are into their master's program or the graduation programs doing management and technology related courses, itself is an opportunity. And if you see the startup, I've just tried to go through the websites of the top startups which are the part of Unicorn last year, and startups belong to any of the denomination. They are by and large are using the Industry 4.0 technologies, primarily AR, VR, and artificial intelligence. So they are using for a lot of reasons like dynamic pricing, for providing more customer centricity in terms of optimization of the prices, for creating more retention with the customers. They are using AI-based technology. So importantly, these are the examples, and Industry 4.0 is the backbone of anything which is happening, starting from the big companies till SMEs. So anyone who is a part of this, being the part of the orchestric effect across the supply chain, Industry 4.0 is prevailing. Beside, the important fact is not anyone is being excluded from this, whether it is the startups which are the part of the mobile-based fintechs, or maybe the big companies like Tata Steel, or the companies which are into EV business these days, or being the part of any form of suppliers to these companies. So the opportunity is what I actually wanted to say is here is we have to be the part of the whole ecosystem. We have to come up with the new skills and the skills which are hitting more upon this opportunity. For instance, we primarily call this digital ER&D, which is digital enterprise resource and development. And as we witness that smart products, drones, digital twins, automation, 3D printing, usage of big data analytics, it's everywhere. So any of the skills gained by the students are not going to waste. They are being utilized by either by the suppliers, by the focal firms, or maybe after sales services. So if you are uniquely not an entrepreneur, you could be the part as an employee somewhere, and any of the skills that it is being imparted to yourself by your institution will be utilized. So this is something, I wish to take you to a few examples. Like these are the prevailing technologies like augmented reality, big data analytics, predictive maintenance, cloud computing, additive manufacturing, cybersecurity, and a lot of companies are using it. So being the part of the ecosystem, anyone who is a part of as a supplier or any end customer being the part of the upstream or downstream supply chain will surely get the benefit of the same. And if you see this, big data is being utilized by firms for analyzing the customer behavior for storage purpose. Now the firms are using cloud computing. So primarily, the combination of such skills are required by the graduates. This is I actually wanted to focus upon. And to cut it short, this is something, NESCOM has recently come up with a survey on the Industry 4.0 startups, and they visualize that the emerging technologies, primarily IoT, Internet of Things, are being utilized by the companies, and upcoming businesses like electric vehicles, which is blending with the aim of government 2070 aim of decarbonization, is utilizing these sort of technology in combination with 3D printing and digital technologies, digital twins. And most of the respondents to the survey happened, which are the top-notch and middle-level managers, are confirming the fact that the firms are now witnessing change management, and the firms which are brick and mortar sort of businesses now moving towards digitization. So probably the graduate who is doing the first year presently, once he has been passed out and will enter into the third or fourth year, will definitely has to have such kind of skills. So imparting them is our responsibility. Getting them gained through such kind of skill sets is their responsibility. Now I'm taking few examples. Like for example, these like previous speakers have already talked about that you may not be the part of the entrepreneurial act, but you may be the part of other activities. There are few cases in one of the study by NESCOM where these companies are trying to create some sort of industry 4.0 based competitive advantage, and they're either creating some sort of solutions for themselves or maybe the client they have in the industry. And for example, like Plutora, they are into creating some sort of solutions to oil and gas and heavy equipment companies, and they are looking out for the opportunities where they can get the market access. So if you are not very much, as a student, if you're not very much confirmed in terms of technical knowledge required, you can utilize your marketing and other, managerial skills for providing support and access to such, companies, which are the solution providers or maybe the users of such technologies. We have a lot many other examples where ATI, for example, ATI, they have created some sort of, solutions for cargo transportation solutions. So this could be a possible, opportunity for the graduates on the Industry 4.0 enthusiasts, which they can, fill the gap, and they can be a part of the whole, business model, and maybe the part of the whole supply chain, being the part of the, the workforce. Similarly, other example could be Fabhead, which is into the manufacturing, vertical, and they are looking out for the partners which can help them to have the market access, help them to to create more clientele for themselves. So the students can be the part. The marketing graduates can take the opportunity. If they don't have, if they have this good soft skill, they can get the benefit of the indirect benefit of the whole, industry 4.0 startup regime. Similarly, we have lot many other examples. We have examples by Airo, which is into the manufacturing of underwater drones, which can help a lot of underwater payload capacity detection, and such solutions can be helpful for the businesses which into marine related activities and into shipping and the fishery business. And this kind of solution could be helpful for the customers which are looking for extension of their businesses into a business vertical. So anyone who is a marketing expert can be the part of the same goes with other examples. So the focal is the primarily we should focus as a student, we should focus more on these things. I believe that these are the set of skills. Let me get to the last slide of this presentation, where these are the other examples by other part of the world where they have developed, the companies or startups have developed solutions by engaging themselves into more of industry 4.0 based technology. But primarily, these are the skill sets which I wish to talk more about, are primarily required. So either you are the part of manufacturing, being a part of the smart shop floor, or you may be the part of the supply side at the end of the downstream supply chain. But by and large, the requirement is you need to skill yourself with the industry 4.0 technologies. Primarily, it talks about 5, 6, sub definitions. It talks about understanding of big data analytics. So you should be very good into statistics and mathematics. So this is something very important. And for the graduates, those are very disinterested in mathematics, they should go for some bridge course, join some MOOCs program, try to cultivate the element of analytics within you, so that you can help the firm or your parent firm, or maybe the employer, or maybe your own company as an entrepreneur, to make better decisions in a real-time environment. Besides, lot many other skill sets are required for understanding. Like for example, if you're expert into computing, you can join hand with the advanced version of computing, which can help you to define the possible way of utilizing the other form of analytics like predictive analytics or maybe cognitive analytics in these days. And you can help companies to understand the possible risk detection for any form of investment they are planning to have with the suppliers or any partner in real future, in the coming future. Besides, lot many skills are required for understanding the possible prediction, so that lot many of simulation activities can be held and companies can foresee the possible partnership with somebody, some business enterprise, or look forward for some sort of simulation and optimization solution for themselves. So by and large, important is the skill sets which are coming through understanding of the basics of basic statistics, time series modeling, for instance, or understanding how the computing can helpful, the usage of R and Python kind of programs. If you're not very good into programming language, or you don't like programming, you can go for the visualization tool understanding. You can go with Power BI and Tableau kind of visualization softwares, which can use the public data available, and you can simply come out with the dashboard outcomes. So skilling oneself is the best way out, because if you skill yourself, you will be the part of the future workforce, or otherwise you will be left behind. So it's an opportunity, and is a loss also if it is like skill yourself or get perished. So since the majority of audience here are the students, and a clear-cut roadmap is required, right? Institutions are doing their job. They're trying to come out with more industry oriented programs, but the duty as a student is more important, because you are the at large, you are the beneficiary of anything which is happening in the industry. Industry is joining hand with the academia, and they're coming up with a very superb real-time syllabi. But if skilling is lacking, then you will be left behind. So all the opportunity, all kind of challenges are lying with you, and the ecosystem created by, like the earlier speaker, Dr. Manpreet Manna was talking about, that NEP is coming up. Dr. Sinha also spoke about that NEP is something coming up. Institutions are engaging themselves with, with the regulators as a part of their duty. But as a student, we have a different form of duties that we should be clear-cut, have the clear-cut action plan, clear-cut roadmap, so that we can we can be the larger set of beneficiary. I wish to take you to a very interesting fact that the institution I am engaged as a faculty, research faculty, UTES. Sir, can we see the web page which is coming up? Can we see? Please confirm it, please.
No web page is showing here.
It's not coming. Okay, right.
Not
Yeah, just the
coming.
presentation is there.
Yeah.
I
Presentation
think
is
you'll have
there.
to share the window.
Yes, yes,
browser
yes,
window.
yes, sir. Is it coming now, sir?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's coming.
Yes.
UTS
It's
lab.
official, yes.
Hmm.
So, in the capacity of visiting professor, I am working with the Australian Artificial Intelligence Institute. I'm the visiting faculty there, and 7 students are working with for their masters and doctoral dissertation work. And the institution has come out with the Industry 4.0 Incubator, which is basically, let me take you to the landing page. This is the landing page, where incubator is more about creating small task forces among the students based on their interest. Suppose a student interested into design, so he will be the part of the design of a product or a service, and uh, the other workforce, the other partners within the workforce, maybe they are the part of the programming or maybe the execution, like business experts on the other side, at the audience side today. So they understand the fact that across the world, especially in Australia, where the institution is located, it is among the 155 institution as far as QS ranking. It topped in 2021. It was 136, and this year it is 133rd in terms of QS ranking. So they visualize the fact that in the coming days, 94% of the SMEs, small scale companies, are coming up with the utilization or implementation of Industry 4.0. So thus they require some sort of manpower, and anybody who is the part of the institution should get benefit of this new rally. So the small task force that they have created in the line of the mega plan they have from their Prime Minister's office, like we have in our country also, a lot of interventions are happening. There is a joint workforce of faculties, joint workforce of the students also. They were the part of the many of test labs where they're focusing upon doing best of their skills they are equipped in, or best of the skills they wish to expertise into. So this kind of, and a lot of interventions are happening with the industry as well. A lot of industrial partners are being set up into the incubation center. Like Professor Mana was also talking about that with 2,000 rupees, you can start an incubation center. It is only the willingness of the individuals which make an incubation center, a solution to the industry, and the partnership and the zeal of the people involved into. So importantly, like I was presently, I'm supervising few of the students there. It's a mix of technical students and business, management students. So business management student has come out with the business plans that if we have a design available, how we can sell that design to some other businesses, or if we have something as a ready to sell business model, how we can sell it to the possible client, or maybe a startup, how we can pitch it for the possible financiers or VCs. So now importantly, every institution should come out with a kind of incubation center, being the part of, or to get the benefit or to induct our students to the industry. It's not only our responsibility, but also is an opportunity as well. To get best of the utilization of the opportunity available. So why foreign universities normally get the advantage? They are the first entrant. They got the advantage of being the part of the such kind of movement first. And on the similar lines, at Doon University also we are coming up with lot many incubation centers where we have the multidisciplinary understanding about the subjects. Like in Uttarakhand we have climate change workforce at our university, where students from business management, students from the technical backgrounds, BTech and computer science will be the part of the joint force. in collaboration with students of environmental department and other people. So multidisciplinary approach is important. Not everybody could be an entrepreneur, of course, because it has large amount of skill sets are required. Somehow technical skills are required when it comes to fintech and specific, technological startups. But yes, anybody can be beneficiary of the whole regime. So with this small, presentation, I wish to, say good luck to all the potential entrepreneurs and the future task force. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Sudhanshu. I missed the opportunity to introduce you, but shout out to Mr. Deepak Chabra for pitching in and doing the job there. And this is great. I mean, everybody can have a slice of the Industry 4.0 pie. So my students sitting there who are from the management department thinking, what is all this talk about AI, machine learning, big tech? Well, the message from Dr. Sudhanshu is loud and clear. You can skill yourself in something that you like doing, and then be a part of the task force and be a part of the team. This is a wonderful idea. I think this is something which everybody should look at their own small level. These baby steps could, who knows, the next unicorn is coming from here. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
correct.
so much. So a big shout out to Harish ji also for managing these glitches which are happening in between. And finally, the floor is open for question and answers. I have just one question here in the chat box, but it doesn't seem to be directly connected to what we're talking about. But well, I think it's Sambal Vats who's asked a question that right now it's a good time to have capital access, and then he's asking whether it's like US federal department is printing more money, that's why we have this access, and then the interest rates are rising. So I think we can just slightly modify this and ask the panel that what about the rising interest rates and the loans that we're getting? What is the provision there by the government or something? Probably we can
Mix these things.
take it in that direction. Yeah. Anyone from the
For
panelists
the
would like to?
startup.
Yeah.
Please, so can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Raghavan, sir,
Yes,
please.
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I may not answer this question straightly, but my 2 cents to all the students who are listening. When you start something, don't think that through this we are going to raise the fund and make the product valuation high, and so those are all the jargons. I think students will be listening, right? So my 2 cents here to all the students and the budding entrepreneurs is focus on the product. Don't worry about the funding. If your product is good, if the paying customers are there for you, it may be your friend, it may be your aunts, uncles, and neighbors, and your professors. Money will come to you. You should not worry about that. And many entrepreneurs today I see, basically the young entrepreneurs, so who are just starting. More than their product pitch, I see the financial pitch more. Don't get into that. So focus more on your product, focus more on learning, focus more on solving the problem. Problem may be very, very simple. So this is what I just thought of, so rather than getting into the US interest and kind of stuff, I think so yeah, so some other panels can answer this question, but I thought so I should give my 2 cents here.
Yeah, the best piece of advice, just build the thing. If it's good enough, money will follow, the funding will be there. That's great.
Yes.
So
The
I
quality
don't
system.
see, I don't see any other questions here. Okay. Not having enough funds. Again, the question is related to fund. If someone is not having enough funds to start a startup, can you suggest some areas from where we can get funds? So there, the answer is there itself. Start from your college. Make a small team and throw in an idea and see how it works out. And if it's a golden goose, then it will lay eggs in in course of time. as financial institutions are giving loans which have high interest to start. So again, everybody is thinking about funding. So there you have Raghavan sir answering your question. So any other question, you can just put it in the chat box, and I don't see any other questions here. So come on, you must surely be having a lot of questions.
Nafis, can I just take a couple of seconds if you're okay with it?
Sure.
Yeah, just on the
Most
funding
welcome.
part,
Yeah.
because it was in a way taken as a default understanding that startups and funding go hand in hand. But one thing that we all also should agree upon is funding is just a part of journey. There might be a time whether you will think whether it is required or not. When you are risking it, people love if you are risking it to start with. I mean, how much you need to start something new. As you said, colleges or your family, if they're supporting, they have to also. It's an all-in game. It's not like let me get into it 60% and 40% I'll think of it later. It's an all-in game. So if the ideal way to run the company is if you don't raise the money, if you don't actually get the funding, but you're still running the show. Like great examples are set by Zoho and Zerodha, where they are not like funded companies where they are getting thousands of crores and they are spending. So they're actually making money and they're growing. So funding not necessary. So it would be great if we can think beyond funding and then starting to think upon the business model, which can be then you can actually think innovative. If not, you will right from day one you will start thinking about money.
Yeah.
Just a piece of thought.
No, that's good. I have heard about Zoho story. Wonderful the way they have come up, Gopal asks here, okay, again, this is the financial related. Okay, Harshita is asking, what are the legal provisions to initiate a startup? Anyone would like to take that one? Legal provisions? Yes, sir.
Nafis, again,
Sir.
can I take that question?
Yeah, please.
So, I mean,
Go ahead,
the reason is like, so when I talk to the students, so these are all the questions, like, so I hear, and that is the reason, like, so when I was telling, like, so I said to the students, you start in the college. Okay, so start a company. To start a company, you don't need anything. You just need a PAN number and some, you can start on your own. I mean, there is no need for like, so how much it costs to start a company, and thanks to the government again. Okay, so after the new government and kind of things like, so it just takes 1 day to get your company registered. So it won't take much of money, time, energy. Now things are changed. And so when you are in college, when you are in 6th semester, start a company. So it asks for only maybe like so 10,000 to 20,000 max. Okay, so call for some CA, chartered accountant, and he will do for everything for you. Talk to your professor, so he will help you, or send us a mail, like so we will give some guidance. It will not it will not take much of time. Right, you have to be an Indian citizen. That's it.
Right. So there's your answer. So another question, I think this is from Annie. Does the emergence of new technologies create a new market niche for the development of innovative startups? So I believe that the person is asking that with the advent of new technologies, you have new areas where you can, focus, try to provide new tech to the startups. I believe that's the.
If I can take this, definitely yes.
Sure.
When you have new technologies at your disposal, then you would use those. Then there's new data points. I think Nafis, you touched upon that point. New data points means new intelligence. New intelligence means new innovation. So these are all connected dots. If startups can think of using emerging technologies, you would see something beyond what others are seeing. So that might lead to a new innovation where others might not have thought of. But that's not a seed. Emerging technology should not become the seed of your thought, but definitely it will give that what you call a strategic advantage going ahead for sure.
Yeah. So it could be the other way around also. You have the idea and then you use some emerging technology to.
Yeah, it should always start from the idea of the problem.
Yeah, from the idea.
Because of a technology opportunity.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Then I have, okay, this question again has been already answered. If I start from zero, how much time it would take my startup to get a boost. Oh, that only I think you know your passion, your so I think that question is already being dealt with by almost all the panelists. They touched upon that. So I think that's about it. So Harish ji and Deepak ji, what do you think? Should we proceed with the vote of thanks?
Yes, sir, please. Dr. Chandra, ma'am,
Okay,
please.
so yeah, so I'll just
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, Harish sir is just sharing the screen. So I'd like
Okay.
to introduce at the end
No,
my friend
no,
and colleague, Dr. Chandra Sharda, HOD, Management Studies, James Great Noida. She's obtained her BSc degree in chemistry from Madras University in 1980. She holds an MBA in finance from Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. She has been awarded with the doctorate degree for the research in the field of banking sector on the recovery of non-performing assets. Well, that's the requirement of the times, I think. Okay, SARAESI Act 2022. Dr. Chandra has a vast experience of more than 36 years in the banking and insurance industry and in academics. She has published papers in leading journals, chaired many sessions and seminars, organized various events, and counseled hundreds of students over these years. Currently, she is heading the Department of Management Studies at JIMS Engineering Management Technical Campus, Greater Noida since November 2020. Ma'am, please, you can
yeah,
take it over from
yeah.
here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nafis, and thank you so much for all the panel members and other students over here. I take this opportunity with immense pleasure and privilege, and also with gratitude. I would like to extend my vote of thanks today to the distinguished dignitaries and all involved, and to organize the panel discussion, because of whom the Industry 4.0, Refueling the Startups, booster for the young entrepreneur would have been completely successfully completed today. I'm much obliged and honored by the gracious presence of Dr. Manpreet Singh Manna, member, UNO, Asia Pacific MOVE Committee, former director, AICTE, Swayam, Ministry of Education, faculty, SLIT Longoworld. Sir, thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule and be with us and empower our students, the young minds. Your presence is a motivation to all the students over here, and those are going to be a young entrepreneur in the near future also. Thank you very much, sir, for being with us. And now I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Harsha Kankanala, professional doctorate in engineering, Netherlands, co-founder, Advisely. Sir, thank you for being with us today, and your words of wisdom will work as a speaker in this young minds. I believe that. And now I'd like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Gunaldeep, Vice President, Customer Service Success, Call. And we are extremely thankful for you to be with us and make your presence and guide the students in a very nice way. And I think the students also will come to know about the importance of the entrepreneurship and startups. And I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Raghavan RV, CEO, Epitome.ai. Sir, I'm really extremely grateful to you for having joining with us and make the young students to understand the importance of the status as well as the requirement of the startup and the resources that are all available in the system to utilize properly to become a successful entrepreneur with the startup. And now I like to thank Dr. N.K. Sinha, Vice Chancellor, Himalayan Garhwal University, Uttarakhand. Sir, I am really thankful to you and for accepting my invitation and being with us today. And we are indebted to you for your time and also being with us today, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And now I'd like to thank Dr. Shakti Johan, the real estate and facility management professional, former country head, administration, HDFC Bank Limited. Sir, really your presence today with us is enlightened the young minds with all your energetic thoughts and views, and you have made the understanding about the startup with the children. And I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Sudhanshu Joshi, Dean University, and visiting professor research, University of Technology, Sydney, Australia, for being again with us and gave a extempo, that is a wide awareness about the Industry 4.0 that is going on as on date all around the universe. Really, sir, thank you so much for your wonderful information that you have given to our students, and I believe they will utilize and they will also join with you in your research team as per your theme. Thank you very much, sir. Now, I want to say the special thanks to a member of association members for all their effort they have taken to conduct, to organize this panel discussion in a very successful manner. To start with, I would like to thank with Mr. Neeraj Arora, Senior Director and Head, ASOCAM, National Council of Education. Sir, you have rendered a very nice cooperation and continuous support since we started our dialogue to conduct or organize this event. Thank you very much, sir. And my extreme thankful to Mr. Deepak Chabra, Assistant Director, ASOCAM, the efforts that you have taken to organize this session very nicely and successfully. And I have to thank Mr. Harish Pushkar, Senior Executive, ASOCAM, for his untired support and the coordination with all of us without seeing the timing and being with us and to make this event a very grand success by coordinating with all such a beautiful panel members today. Thank you so much, sir. And I'm really got your support in every aspect. And now this is the time to thank all my in-house members without whose support and motivation conducting this event like this is an unthinkable. It is not possible at all without their support. At the outset, I would like to thank my sincere gratitude to our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Amit Gupta, James Greater Noida, because of his continuous motivational support and the guidance. And he wants to empower the younger generation minds to explore in different fields so that they can reach their career within a greater heights. Sir, I render my thanks from my heart and thank you so much for your support. And I would like to render my heartfelt thanks to our director, Dr. R.K. Raghuvanshi, James Greater Noida, for all his unconditional support and guidance to make this event in a successful manner, irrespective of the timing. Whenever we approach, he used to give a very nice guidance for us to conduct this session in a very nice manner. Thank you very much, sir. And I also take this opportunity to thank Dr. Sharat Sharma, Head, Department of Commerce, James Greater Noida, and Mr. Nafizuddin, Assistant Professor, James Greater Noida, for their continuous support and the cooperation and the help they are rendered us towards the successful conduction of this panel discussion. And this is the time to take my heartfelt thanks to our dear students. Special thank you to all of them who have been participated this panel discussion with zeal and zest, and they render their support from all their direction, whatever the possible way they can do it, and make this event also in a very successful manner. And without their help and support, this panel discussion would not be a successful event. Thank you so much, my dear students. Last but not least, I thank all my entire head of the department, faculty fraternity, administrative staffs, IT staff, and my dear colleagues for their continuous effort and support. And at the last, I want to thank to the Almighty for all the blessings showered on us and make this session a very successful one. And I am really responding them. Blessing also, sir. Thank you very much for all of you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was always a pleasure to be among such a dignitaries, and we definitely enjoyed the session. Thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you, students. Thank you all panelists for your valuable time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
everyone.
much to all of
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Arsha, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Arish, sir.